Okay. 9 o'clock. Okay, okay. So, in the last session, we discussed about futures of Linux, right? A continuation with the last session, file system hierarchy means default directories. What are the directories we get along with the operating system that we are going to discuss now? So, in Windows, A and B are reserved for floppy. Whether you are using or not, A and B are reserved for floppy, right? It starts creating the drives from C. It starts creating drives from C. So C is primary partition. In Windows, C is primary partition. So when you open C drive, there you can see default folders. Can you guys tell me what are the default folders in Windows? Anyone? Ramu, you're able to hear me, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Can you tell me what are the default directories we'll get along with the means when you open C drive, there you can see some folders, right? What are they? Can you guess? In Windows, I'm asking. Yes? In your computer, in your laptop, I'm asking.
So C drive, D drive, E drive. So we are having multiple drives apart from that
Yeah, yeah.
desktops.
If you
Yeah.
open C drive means what are the folders? Default folders we can see there.
Been apart from that, we are having home directories,
Yeah.
then
Program files.
program files. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Program files, users, administrator, downloads, library, system 32. You can see some folders, right? They are default. Similarly, in Windows also. In Windows also, you can see default. In Linux also, you can see default directories. In Windows, we call folder. In Linux, we call directory. Only name is different. Only name is different. The What is the use of folders? Folders are used for storing data, right? It may be files or subdirectories. We stores content into the folder. Similarly, in Linux, we get directory. Directories are used for storing content. Content means files or subdirectories. Content means files or subdirectories. So, what are the default directories we get along with the operating system? In Linux, that I will explain now as file system hierarchy. I'm repeating default directories in Linux. How we have default folders in Windows, same like that in Linux we get default directories. So what are the default directories we get along with the operating system? So that we discuss now as file system hierarchy. You're getting right? Remember, directory is nothing but folder. So these are the default directories we have in Linux. These are the default directories we have in Linux. First one is forward slash. First one is forward slash. Forward slash is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux. Forward slash is parent directory or top level directory in Linux. It is similar to C in Windows. Forward slash is similar to C drive in Windows. In Windows, C is compulsory partition, right? It is a primary partition. Same like that in Linux, forward slash is compulsory partition. Under forward slash, we have subdirectories. These all directories comes under forward slash. Okay. First one under forward slash is root. Root is the home directory for super user. Root is the home directory for super user. Super user means administrator. As a super user, you logged in into your computer, and if you create any files or directories, that data is going to store under root. I'm repeating, as a super user means as an administrator. You logged in into your computer and you are creating any files or directories. By default, the data is going to store under root. And next one is home. Home is the home directory for normal user. As a normal user, you logged in into your computer and you're creating any files or directories. By default, it stores the data under home. For every user, there is a home directory. There is a directory with username. Under home, see example, if you create a user Tom, immediately it creates a directory with the name Tom under home directory. Now, if you create a user Jerry, immediately it creates a directory with the name Jerry. When you log in into your computer as a Tom user and you're creating any files or directories, the data is going to store under home. When you log in into Jerry user and Jerry is creating any files or directories, the data is going to store in Jerry's directory, which is under home. So for every user, there is a home directory under home. So home is the home directory for normal users. Okay, and next one is boot. Boot contains bootable files. Operating system bootable file stores under boot. Also kernel. Kernel is an interface between shell and hardware. Okay, that kernel also stored under boot. In shell scripting, we'll discuss about kernel. So up to version 6, kernel also stored under boot. I'm repeating, forward slash, it is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux. Forward slash is similar to C in Windows. It contains subdirectories. These all directories comes under forward slash. And next one is root. Root is the home directory for super user. As a super user, you logged in into computer, and if you create any files or directories, the data is going to store under root. And home is the home directory for normal user. As a normal user, you logged in into computer and you're creating any files or directories, the data is going to store under home. And boot contains bootable files. Operating system bootable files are stored under boot. Up to version 6, kernel also stored under boot. Kernel is an interface between shell and hardware. Clear these directories? Is these directories are clear? Forward
Yes.
slash root,
Yes,
home
ma'am.
and boot are clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, just having one question for the boot directory. What is the use case for that boot directory? Like it will contains all the
Yeah,
details
boot
about
contains
the.
bootable files. Operating system bootable files. BIOS programs are stored in boot.
Okay.
Clear, Rahul?
Yeah, yes, clear. Thank you.
Then, and one more thing, all these points in further classes, we use all these directories we use in further classes practically. And all the points, whatever points I'm explaining now, all the points I'll explain. I will give you notes also. I'll share the
Okay.
notes about all the points. Okay, and next one is SBIN. Sbin contains super user commands. Sbin contains super user commands. The commands which can be executed by super user. That commands are stored under Sbin. I'm repeating, Sbin contains super user commands. The commands which can be executed by super user. That commands are stored under Sbin. Means when you log in as a super user, means administrator. And if you create any files, if you are executing any commands, so first it will check in Sbin whether the command is available or not. If the command is available, then it will give you output. Otherwise, it will not give you output. Okay. Bin contains normal user commands, the commands which can be executed by normal user. That commands are stored under bin. And repeating, Sbin contains super user commands and bin contains normal user commands. And USR contains default applications. USR contains default applications which comes along with operating system. That applications are stored under USR. USR contains default applications which comes along with operating system. That applications are stored under USR. Var contains variable files. System log files are stored under var. Like it is like task manager in Windows. How many users are logged in, what are the tasks they are performing, how much monitor, how much RAM they used, all that information is stored under var. Dev contains devices information. Devices information means partitions information. In Windows we call partitions, in Linux we call device. Dev contains devices information. Devices means partitions. ETC contains configuration files. System configuration files are stored under ETC. ETC contains configuration files. As we discussed, Linux works with configuration files. Linux works with configuration files, no setup files in Linux. So all the configuration files are stored under ETC. OPT contains optional applications. Applications which we install manually. They are not compulsory to install. ETC contains configuration files. System configuration files are stored under ETC. Dev contains devices information. Dev contains devices information, means partitions information. Var contains variable files. System log files are stored under var. USR contains default applications. Applications which comes along with operating system. That applications are stored under USR. Okay, bin contains normal user commands, the commands which can be executed by normal user. That commands are stored under bin. And as bin contains super user commands, the commands which can be executed by super user. That commands are stored under sbin. Bin boot contains bootable files. Operating system bootable files are stored under boot. It also contains kernel up to version 6. Home is the home directory for normal users and root is the home directory for super user. And now OPT, it contains optional applications. Applications which we install manually, they are stored under OPT. Are you getting?
Yes, yes.
OPT contains optional applications. Applications which we install manually. They are not compulsory to install. If you want to install Oracle, we'll install it. If you want to install VMware, we'll install it. So applications which we install manually, that applications are stored under OPT. Media contains external devices information, like removable devices information, external hard disk, external DVD writers, pen drives. That information is stored under media. MNT contains partitions and their mounted directories information. Which partition is linked with which directory? That information is maintained by MNT. See, in Windows, once we create partition and format the partition, we can access the partitions directly. We can access partitions directly. But in Linux, it is not like that. In Linux, once we create partitions, we cannot access the partition directly. We cannot access partitions directly. So how we access the partitions means, after creating the partitions, we give the link between partition and directory. That is called mounting. We'll give the link between, where we will establish a link between partition and a directory. Okay, once partition is linked with directory, we can access partition through directory. If something data we created in directory means the data is going to store in your partition. If you are deleting something from your directory, linked directory, the data actually deleting from the partition. Because in Linux, we cannot access partitions directly. No double clicks and right clicks. So we access partitions through directories. So which partition is linked with which directory? That information is stored under MNT. So what is this mounting? How to give link between partition and directory? How we access them? Everything practically I will show you in our coming classes. I'll show that practically also. Okay, and next one is run. Run contains external devices information and kernel information. From version 7, RHEL version 7 onwards, kernel run contains external devices information, means removable devices information and kernel information. Up to version 6 only, boot contains kernel. From version 7, run contains kernel. Are you getting?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the default directories we get along with the operating system. These are the default directories. Okay, so where we use, which directory we use, everything we'll see practically in our further classes. And for these directories, notes I will share through Telegram. Once you registered, I will share. So in these directories, do you have any doubts? Any doubts you can ask me.
Ma'am, suppose the hard disk size is like 500 GB, then like in Windows, we have different partition, and in Linux that 500 GB is totally assigned to this slash partition, forward slash.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And if you don't want to give total space to your forward slash, like in Windows also, total available space we don't give to C drive. We'll create the drives like D, E, F drives we create, right? Same like that in Linux also, we can create other partitions, not only forward slash, we can create other partitions. I will show you that while installing the operating system.
But ma'am, those partition are under slash or like with parallel to slash.
Under /, these are the directories, not partitions. These are called directories, means folders, subfolders.
No, okay, we will create some, suppose the 500 GB is assigned to this slash partition. Now I have to create a partition. So that partition will create under slash, or it will be create means where it will get create one, like in which level, like in slash, like parallel to slash partition.
Aditya, can you speak a bit loud or message me? Because your voice is very low for me. I don't know why.
Okay.
Please, can you message me in the chat box?
Okay.
I'll read and respond. Because something valid question you're asking, but I'm unable to hear your voice clearly. Aditya, hope you're writing. I'm waiting. Not under /. Separately, we create partition. See, in Windows, C drive we are creating, right? Separately, we are creating D, E, F drives if you want. Same like that in Linux also, we can create partition separately, not under /. Total available space, if you give to // only, means everything is stored under // only. But if you want to separate, if you want to create multiple partitions, means we can create, but they'll not comes under // Aditya, you getting right?
Yes, ma'am.
Done. So these are the default directories we have in Linux. I'll repeat /. It is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux. It is similar to C in Windows. It contains subdirectories. This all comes under /. Root is the home directory for super user. Super user means administrator. As a super user, you logged in into computer, and if you create any files or directories, the data is going to store under root. Home is the home directory for normal user. As a normal user, you logged in into computer, and if you create any files or directories, the data is going to store under home. Boot contains bootable files. Operating system bootable files are stored under boot. Sbin contains super user commands. The commands which can be executed by super user. So that commands are stored under boot. Bin contains normal user commands. The commands which can be executed by normal user. That commands are stored under bin. USR contains default applications. Applications which comes along with operating system. That applications are stored under USR. Var contains variable files. System log files are stored under var. Dev contains devices information, means partitions information is stored under dev. etc contains configuration files. System configuration files are stored under etc. OPT contains optional applications. Applications which we install manually. They are not compulsory to install. Applications which we install manually. That applications are stored under OPT. Media contains external devices information, means removable devices information. External hard disk, external DVD writers, external means pen drives, all the removable devices information is stored under media. Okay. And MNT contains, and one more thing, external devices information, it contains up to RHEL version 6 only. And MNT contains partitions and their mounted directories information. Which partition is linked with which directory? That information is maintained by MNT. How to mount and what is the use of that? That we'll discuss in further classes practically. Run contains external devices information and kernel information. Run contains external devices information and kernel information from version 7 onwards, from latest version onwards. Run contains removable devices information and kernel information. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this directories are clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And this notes also I will share. Once you registered, I will share the notes also. Okay. In the next session, we'll discuss, we'll see how to install operating system. Once OS installation is completed, daily labs will be there. Every day we have labs. So when we start the labs, as I told you, I will show you practically, I will explain you theoretically, and I will share the notes also, everything. Okay. So if you have any doubts on file system hierarchy, you can ask me now.
No doubt regarding like file system hierarchy. Need
Done,
to
done.
ask something else.
What
Hello.
about you, Mr. Ramu?
No, ma'am, I don't have any
No
doubt.
doubts, ma'am. No
No,
doubts.
Okay. Rahul?
no, ma'am, I don't have a doubt as of now.
Okay, okay. Rahul, Ramu and Shayad.
Yes, ma'am. No doubts, ma'am.
No doubts. Yeah, yeah.
Done, done. So these are the default directories we have. Directory means folder. Remember, directory means folder. Okay. In tomorrow's session, we'll see how to install the operating system. What are the compulsory partitions and how to install operating system. We'll see in tomorrow's session. Okay, so this is about our today's session. As I told you, these are the demo session, right? Topics, small topics. See, we are continuing the topics as per the schedule, but only theory part we are discussing here, small topics. Okay, so regular classes, once the link is changed, regular classes all start at 8 p.m. No waitings, nothing. We'll start the classes on time. And this is about today's session. Thank you so much for the session.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Shayad, I think today and Ramu, today is the first session you are coming.
Yes, ma'am.
So just go through with previous class also. Any doubts are there, you can ask me.
Okay, ma'am.
I'll explain. Not only today, in regular classes also. Any doubts you have in the class, you can ask me, I will explain.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So there will
Okay.
be a Telegram group also for our batch. Separate group will be there, private group.
Okay.
So there also you can ask me if you have any doubts, practical doubts.
Okay, ma'am.
Theoretically, practically, any doubts are there? You can message me in Telegram also.
Okay.
And in the classroom, any doubt you have, something point I explained, you're not clear on the point, immediately you can ask me. Definitely, I'll repeat
Sure.
it.
Sure, ma'am.
I'm telling this to Ramu and Sayed, both of you.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So attend tomorrow's session also.
Okay, ma'am. I will attend.
So you're getting right the points, whatever I'm explaining, you're getting
Ye-
right.
Yes, ma'am. I am able to understand.
Done. Okay, then we'll meet tomorrow.
Okay, ma'am.